Well, Peter, what time it is?
It's train time.
Yes, episode 41,
May.
May 2023,
Yes.
season 4.
Yes.
Today we'll visit the finished part of the CMR upstairs,
Yes. Yes.
and then we'll go to Mahukona.
Yeah. Mahukona train terminal.
Yes.
In the northwest part of the Big Island.
There's no more track in there, but some remands.
No. Yeah.
So that is on the second segment. We got the photo of the month. The view from above.
View from above.
You know. So without any delay, let's go see where the CMR is.
We are west of Steel River, looking at a crime scene that has developed. You can look down in here. There's a forensics team. There's a couple of skeletons, and of course we've got all kinds of police activity investigating our crime scene. It's rather kind of detailed and hidden from kind of obvious observation. You have to look for it. So, but we've got quite the police force in there doing their investigation. As we move along, you can see some of the police cars and scenery, and son of a gun, they've caught the guy that's responsible for the skeletons buried in the bush, and they've got him over the car, arresting him. As we now move east in the back here, we have our imperial caskets, some trucks in here, the loading. This is our main 2 line, and this is our main 1 line going through. Mountains coming into view just west of Steel River, and if you look down, we have a house trailer with the family get together here. There's somebody cooking in the barbecue, someone on a quad here, old trucks, old cars, and right down here, if you look closely, there's an old toilet that's been turned into a flower bed. Kind of a interesting scene to have between the main lines. Underneath the bridge, you can see a couple of structures there, shed. And then in the foreground here, this is the Steel River Provincial Park, which is the entrance to Joanne's campground that you'll see just on the other side of the bridge. Now you come into the campground, and if you look here, we have some stone petroglyphs there. This is the washroom facility, tenting area, and then we move into the back between the main lines again. There's some wildlife, some deer. You can see them right here and here. Again, this is main 1, and main 2 is back here. Bridge is going across Steel River and into the campground here. There are a couple of trailers, and then down the road goes down to the boat launch, and there on the beach we have a couple of boats, canoe, and one of the campers carrying his canoe down to the river. Now, as we move, this is the shoreline along Steel River with all of the trees, and that creates a view block between Steel River and what you see on the other side, which is the rock quarry. It's a very thick growth of trees to give you that view block. In the back here is the base tunnel portals for main 2, main 1, and into the short line here. The top of the mountain is down on the workbench being worked on. Now we're into the rock crushing plant and the operations at the quarry. As we move from quarry and rock crushing, way in the background is the cement plant, and the short line comes between these two structures. And again, it's hidden with tree view blocks. Take note here, we have piles of crushed rock. Here's some stuff that's not very crushed yet, but this is coming off the conveyor. This little shed is our explosive shed for down in the quarry. And of course the equipment working around the yard of the rock crushing plant. If you look down towards the actual quarry itself, you can see there's a big dragline crane picking up rock, and there's all the heavy equipment, moving rock to the primary crusher down in the bottom of the quarry. Yeah, where this truck is dumping this is rock crusher 1, and from there it comes out this conveyor into rock crusher 2, which then crushes it further, and then it goes up into the main rock crushing building, and then you come out with the final product. We've tried to create as much of a realistic quarry scene as possible. You can see way in the back where they've actually set explosives and blown the walls. Now, of course, in one of our other series, we did the conceptual right up to the kind of finished product of the Quebec farm scene, the village off to the right, and we've commented before on the backdrop scenes as well. As we move east from the village, we're now into the scrapyard, and as you can see, there's a variety of different scrap piles, operational stuff such as the crane picking up wheels and axles. There's body parts, there's shredded stuff, there's all kinds of scrap scrapyard. Still not totally finished. We still want to do some more detailing, but that'll be down the road a little more. As we move from the right here is the little hot dog stand with a couple of motorcycles out front. And now we're into the Ziffel Mining Company in Brunswick. This is a coal mine that will be supplying coal to our facility over in the mill. As we move through New Brunswick, one of the things that we did is where you're looking now, we've used N scale along with our HO scale to give that kind of depth perception and it gives that forced perspective when you're looking at a scene. Now looking at the old abandoned mine at Jackass Creek, the little hobo shack. Well, it's not. It was a shack at the mine, but the hobos have kind of taken over it as their residence. Nobody cares that they're living there. Very, very detailed scene portraying an old mining operation. It kind of shows you the detail that you can build into a scene as you go along. One thing we've done with this scene is we've used mirrors on the back. Use the mirrors to give some depth to the scene so that it appears to go on farther than it actually does. As we come over the mountain, we are now entering Jean Cove, Nova Scotia, a little fishing village. Named after Joe's mum, and partly modeled after the Perfect Storm with the Andrea Gay heading out to fish. You can see the different structures, the fish plant, the different houses, and all of these have their own interior lighting. Now you can see the wharf area with the fishing trawlers, all the fishing plant, all the fishing gear on the wharf. Everybody's getting ready to go out and fish. As we come around the harbor, in the background there is the local church. The priest on the doorstep and some people on the stairway there. Comment on the colors of the buildings. Apparently each different fishing cove had different color patterns on the building, so you could recognize if you were in the right cove. We're now at the Mariner Monument in front of the Coast Guard building, which also has the lighthouse. Old wharf area, the lighthouse for the Coast Guard to signal the point of land before the harbor. And as we side of the harbor. You can see just up in here, there's a couple sitting on the bench, just kind of watching the world go by, and different fishing boats. There's some boats out in the water there with their nets out catching fish, and then the coastline and the trees. So in this segment we've worked backwards from Steel River, Ontario, through Sudbury, through Quebec, New Brunswick, and Nova Scotia. All part of the CMR layout.
Well, as we saw upstairs,
Yes.
is
Yes,
scenes that had been made,
Yep.
you know. The top of the mountains for Thunder Bay, not Thunder Bay, but Sudbury is not
Sudbury.
there yet. It
No.
will be there
It's-
probably sometime in
Yeah.
the next few days.
It's on the workbench.
Yeah, it's on the workbench.
But we've gone through the conceptual stage up to the finished product,
Yes.
and it is looking just absolutely
Well,
great.
it's not totally finished, Peter.
Oh, no, no.
Water's got to be poured in
Yes, there's some fine details, but when you look at it as a whole, going from concept to finished product, it's,
there. Yeah,
It's
it's went a
pretty-
long way.
yes,
Matter of fact, the electrical panels for the lighting of the buildings are in place
yes,
underneath.
yeah.
But none of the building right now are plugged to
yes,
it or attached to it. And that goes from Nova Scotia right up to the other side of Still River.
Still River and Joanna
So-
Campground, yeah.
We have stopped at Still River, just the other side of Still River, well, with our crime scene.
Yes,
And-
because we've stopped there because you have people coming in from Quebec to visit.
Well, yeah, but we're kind of run out of time.
Yes, but we've got to a point where we can really show them some nice stuff on the
Yes.
layout.
After that, we'll mainly concentrate it into the other side of the Rockies and
Yeah.
the Rockies that are already there that got to be scenic,
Yep.
and keep on going towards Thunder Bay.
Yes.
We got a few little problem in there, Peter, because we got to really conceptualize what will happen with going to Thunder Bay for the connections with where the steel mill would be.
Yes. Yes.
So we cannot rush the scenicking in there.
No. That's a whole big project, the steel mill section, because it's going to be a lift out, do it on the workbench, and then put it back in place.
It will take a few months
Yes. Yeah.
just for the steel mill, because the steel mill is very complex.
Yeah.
But also the front of that would be pretty complex too, where it is the terminal at the port in Thunder Bay
Thunder
and
Bay, yeah.
Lake Superior.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I think the viewer can have a pretty good idea of what you can do as far as building and super detailing sceneries.
Yes. Yeah.
You know, it's some of the part that still need more details. It's just a fact we didn't have them with us.
Well, there again, we've talked about this before, where you get to a point where a scene talks back to you, and
Oh yeah.
so there's a lot of fine detailing that'll be maybe months down the road on some of these scenes, but
Matter of fact, in the last kind of video we made of upstairs, the quarry was not done. The scrap yards was in its infancy,
Yeah.
Now is scrap yard is probably at 90% done.
Yep.
The quarry's done.
Yep.
The camping area is done. What is needed in there, some more details and more vehicle, and more trailers and all that type of thing. And the river to be poured.
But we'll do the river at Steel River when we do some other
Oh yeah.
water scenes, do them all at the same time.
Well, water usually on a layout, it's good to do them last. You know, because then after that you got to deal with the dust.
Yep. Yeah.
So anyway, I hope you enjoy that segment, folks, and now let's go to the photo of the month.
It was, this one was the narrow gauge railway, and it was probably a total of about 17 miles, 17.2 miles. It's up on the kind of north-west part of the island. And as we look at the video, you can see some of the old foundation piers from buildings that used to be along the wharf here. And this is where ships would come in and load with sugarcane. Now, the Hawaiian Railway Company, as I said, was the narrow gauge, and its first year of operation was 1882, and it ran from Mahukona up to Upalua Point in the north, and then wrapped around eastward to Naiolai. In December 1897, it was recognized as the Hawaii Railway, and transporting mainly sugarcane from the sugarcane fields down here to warehouses and then loaded onto ships. In 1937, the railway was acquired by the Kohala Sugar Company, which renamed it Mahukona Terminals, and it was operational until 1945 when it was abandoned. So as we follow in the video, you can see some of the old piers, but there's also a history of a number of shipwrecks. As you can see, we were there on a very kind of rough day with surf, so it's understandable that ships were lost just off the coast. We'll be looking at some old foundations of the car shops and stuff. Right in here you can see some of the foundations from, that would be the loading areas for ships. And through the trees you can see a rooftop that was a warehouse. These are some photos of where the rail line ran and some of the write-up about it. You can see there, some of them are some old photos, but again, like I said, this was all servicing the sugarcane plantations. Here we're looking at some of the old foundations where car shops and engine shops would be. They're a little bit off the main wharf, but these things have to be serviced. And this is it's not a museum, it's a state park that you can go and visit. But it was very interesting as part of the sugarcane plantation industry in Hawaii, how these little short line railways service the sugarcane plantations. Here again, there's some of the old foundations and stairways and stuff that have been left behind from when the railway was in operation. But you kind of get an idea of what they had to deal with. I mean, loading ships on this wharf, and if they had a day like when we were there with a lot of surf, it could be quite difficult. Fascinating. It was a nice visit. Enjoyed the time with my brother there, and hope you enjoyed.
Well, Peter.
Very good segment.
Yeah, they're always good.
Yeah.
And the Mahukona was good,
Yep.
was the second part of your trip.
Yep.
Give an idea to viewers of what's happening in other region other than Canada.
Yep.
We have done some part of the revamp of the website
Yep.
at www.canadianmodelrailroad.ca.
Yes.
But you can also access it with .com or .org.
Yep. Facebook group.
The Facebook group right now has 812 members on it. And for the people who goes to our Facebook group,
Yep.
They probably noticed that it went from public to private,
Yes. Yes.
because we had some problem with posting that were made that technically were scams. And the idea of the Facebook page is to keep it clean
Yep.
and enjoyable for the people who go there.
Yep.
It's It's a group about train. It's not a group about anything else.
Trains, model trains.
Trains, model trains, layouts, whatever. People now, when they want to do a submission, unfortunately, they will be asked to be approved.
Yes.
If somebody want to join the group, it's come out on if we approve the new members or not. Now, there's some criteria in there, and there's some question you are asked when you apply. Answer the question, because if no question answered, you would be rejected. Simple as that. That's the only way we can keep that group clean.
Yes.
So I encourage you to visit on Facebook, Canadian Model Railroad. Would be a pleasure for us to receive you as a member. So no problem there. On the fact of our YouTube channel,
Yes.
well, we totally appreciate our viewer and our audience for the contents that we bring to you.
We appreciate comments.
Yes, which is rare, but they say no comments, good comments.
Yeah. No news, good news.
Yep. We encourage you to subscribe. So we encourage you to comment. We encourage you to talk with your friends about our site. Sure, it grows slowly, even after 3.5 years doing the show every month. Believe it or not, it's very hard sometimes to get some material. This year's, we really concentrating on the CMR.
Yes, yes. We've been spending more time on our own endeavors,
Yes,
and hopefully that gives the viewing audience some good ideas of what we're working with. You and I especially are always kicking ideas around.
well, the fact is that's the only way we achieve a great product and finish is you and I mainly is doing sceneries. So you may not agree with the way we do things because we're not necessarily following the formula of other modelers. We're just regular guys doing regular stuff and having fun, doing what we love. And part of what we love is to sharing it with you, So
We've discovered some different techniques as we've gone along, so we've tried to share that with the viewing audience.
And we have also established through all these different techniques that we had learned over the many, many years in model railroading, a technique of our own.
Yes. Yep.
So there's some stuff to be taken and some stuff to be rejected.
And so, on that note, hopefully, people that are watching that, they have their own way of doing it, but maybe we can give them a little more, how would you say, food for thought.
Yes.
And, if they like what we do and want to incorporate it into what they're doing, super.
Well, we try very hard to not be a slave of hobby shop.
Yep.
By using material that is all around us.
Yep.
And do not fear the fact that of making sceneries, because if you got a bare plywood layout, is as good of a layout as any other layout. A layout is a layout, right? Now, if you venture into doing sceneries, the first few times that you do scenery, you might not like the result.
Yep.
Right? I know I didn't like my result when I started.
Oh, I've come a long way from when I first started.
The only way to get better at sceneries is to do more sceneries and redo things that you already have done. Is some of the stuff that was done 8 years ago that I go back and touch at. And I'll probably in 5 years from now, or maybe even less, touch it again.
Yep.
So the skill are developed by doing.
Yes.
So do not fear sceneries.
Yes.
Try it.
Try it. Have fun doing it.
Well, that's the thing.
Yep.
The main thing. What is model railroading, Peter?
It's fun.
It's fun.
It's fun.
It's sharing. Is this hobby is far from dying.
Yep.
That hobby is, I will say right now, that hobby is in full force.
Yes. Yeah.
We got so much new technology that wasn't there even when we started.
Yeah. Good. Yeah.
It helped.
A lot of things have changed from when we started. Yeah.
But there's a lot of things that have remained the same.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know. And folks, model railroading, a layout is not just about train. It's not just about scenery. It's about car. It's about little people. It's about a lot of things, you know. So enjoy your modeling,
Yes.
you know. It's a hobby, Peter, that I find out lasts forever. I'm retired for 23 years now,
Mm-hmm.
right? And for 23 years, I enjoy modeling,
Yeah. Yeah.
you know. To me, some people ask, oh yeah, but it must cost a lot of money to have a layout. You know, how much sanity does cost?
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, it's way better than sitting in the chair in the house doing nothing.
Yeah. Or sitting at the pub, I guess.
Yeah. So folks, we totally enjoy your company,
Yes.
and we hope to see you in episode 42 for June.
Yep.
This month, we're sorry we're a little late because I had some other thing happening in life. But for May, season 4, that's the end of it. See you in June with number 42.
Have fun.
Enjoy. Happy modeling.
Yes. Have fun modeling.